I'm reading the paper when the waiter comes over and asks me if I'm alone. Well, it was obvious that I was alone. I was sitting there in a booth by myself. Did he think I thought I had an imaginary friend with me? I was alone. Did he have to rub it in? Was he trying to be funny? Did he think he was in some way better than me? It was in his tone. He said, "Are you alone?" But what he really meant was, "You're alone, aren't you?" And I can't imagine that he's not alone every single day of his miserable, pathetic life. He has terrible skin and it's not attractive, not in the way that bad skin or remnants of bad skin can be attractive on some people. On some men. It's never attractive on women, have you noticed that? Just one more example in the injustices we are forced to suffer. If we have bad skin, we are grotesque. Let a man have bad skin and he can be Richard Burton, for God's sake. I hate being a woman. I've strayed. The point is, this waiter has terrible skin and greasy hair and his breath stinks of something dead and his face is entirely too close to mine and he insults me with his breath and his tone of voice and asks me if I'm alone. I feel my face go flush and I want to rip his head off. I'd like to pull his hair out, only I'd never be able to get a decent grip. It looks like it hasn't been washed in a decade. I want to pick up my butter knife and stab it in something against his chest, but I simply respond, "No, I'm married, thank you." I realise now, of course, that my answer was illogical. I realised it was inappropriate, but at the time it was all I could think of to say. Well, he leans back and really in the most supercilious manner leers at me and intones, "I meant, are you eating alone?" I knew what he meant. I knew what you meant! I am not a person who shouts. Generally, I don't like shouting. Hurts to shout and it hurts to be shouted at. My mother shouted quite a bit and I always thought the veins in her neck looked like the roots of a tree. But I shouted. Everyone was looking at me because I was standing. I didn't mean to be standing. I didn't remember standing, but I was standing. I must have leapt up when I was shouting, so I was standing and everyone was looking at me. And the place was very crowded, much more crowded than I ever recall seeing it before. And then suddenly it occurs to me that these people, my neighbours, gawking at me in endless silence, were the exact same people who watched Ford and myself have sex on the very first night we met. I was humiliated.